Hello, how are you? Hope you're okay. I wonder who is listening today. I wonder if there's a Charlotte listening, or maybe a Jessie, maybe an Amelia. Hello, if you are. Maybe, let me see, Jerry? Dorina? Hello? How about Mercedes? Hello, Mercedes, or Lucas? Whoever's there, whoever of my lovelies you are, hello, hope you're having a good day. Can you see that wire over there? Plugged in over there. I've just been cleaning my floor. I haven't put my cleaner away yet. But I thought you might like to see my lilies sitting there. I do like a lily at Easter time. And they've come out so beautifully, so I thought I'd put them there this afternoon so you can see. We're on chapter 34 of Varjak Paw. And he has just, if you remember, he's just beaten the black cat. He didn't turn out to be much of an alive cat after all. It's all very odd. It's all very strange. Let's read chapter 34. In fact, let's just read the last bit of chapter 33 again. If you remember, the collar curled off the black cat's neck. Its eyes opened wide in surprise. It started to raise a paw, but it was slowing, and slowly, almost gracefully, it ground down to a stop. There was silence at the top of the stairs. The gentleman's cat was finished. Its body lay stiff and crumpled on the floor. It wasn't terrifying any more. It looked like what it was, a broken toy. Varjak stood up, shaking, exhausted. He couldn't believe he'd done it. With all his skills, he was no match for the black cats. He'd fought the fight of his life, yet the truth was they were better than real cats in almost every way. But they could never be alive like a real cat. That was their strength. It was also their weakness. And somehow he'd made it count. The other black cat was staring at the broken toy, as if it couldn't believe what had just happened either. It nudged the crumpled body. There was no response, no movement, no life. It stood up very slowly and came towards Varjak. He knew what was coming. This one would never let him near its collar. It was going to avenge its twin. It was going to destroy him, and for all the world he couldn't think how to stand against it. But it stopped just before it reached him and looked him in the eyes. For the first time, Varjak thought he saw a flicker of expression there. It looked sad, terribly, terribly sad. It wasn't fighting anymore. No, it was holding its neck out. It could be him, it could be anyone, but it was holding its neck out as if it wanted him to cut its collar too. Varjak hesitated. After all this time, fearing and hating the black cats, he'd never thought they might have feelings of their own. But the two of them had always been like one, and now without its other half, even the perfect fighting machine was useless. Varjak thought he understood. He leaned towards the black cat. It didn't move away, didn't resist. Very gently he cut its collar. Its eyes widened for an instant. And then it too ground down to a stop. It was over. He's done it! He's beaten them! Everyone was shouting now, we're free! Where was Holly? At that moment she was all he could think of. Where was she? She'd figured out how to stop the cats. She was the one who'd done it. Kind of sad, those black cats, said a gravelly voice behind him. One couldn't work without the other. Varjak turned to face her, his heart aching. Would she forgive him? Holly, I'm sorry. I should have come with you. Her mustard eyes were smiling. I know, but you made up for it, because you're not the worst friend in the world, Mr. Paw. Not by a long shot. They grinned at each other. Varjak, you did it, said Tam. She was breathless and her eyes were shining. I told her you'd do it. Didn't I tell you, Holly? Tammy said, "It's good to see you again." Cheers were going up. Some of the cats from the cage were starting to head downstairs. "Wait," shouted Holly. Her gravelly voice stilled them instantly. "It's not over yet," she warned. "We have to find a way out. The house is all locked. All the windows, all the doors. So we've got to find another way. We're going down, but quietly. No one does anything unless we tell you to. We're not bossing you around. We just know what's going on here. Understand?" There was a ripple of agreement. Varjak marvelled at the way she took control. He smiled to himself as they led the cats down the stairs in a stealthy, silent column. He had his friends back, both of them. They'd beaten the black cats. They'd done the impossible. After all he'd been through, maybe, just maybe, everything was going to come good at last. "Varjak! Varjak! Help!" He looked down. It was Julius, growling, or even howling. Julius in the gentleman's grip. The gentleman waiting for them at the foot of the stairs. The column of cats froze in fear. Varjak could see his family on the edge of the front room, trembling, powerless. They were all powerless before the gentleman. The black cats were gone, but they were nothing compared to the man who had made them. Click-clack. The gentleman dropped Julius and stepped towards the stairs, shouting in a voice like thunder. The column of cats cracked and began to break. "Wait!" cried Holly, but nobody was listening now. The street cats panicked, turned tail, fled upstairs. Julius scurried back to his family. In the space of a heartbeat, Varjak, Holly and Tam stood alone as the gentleman came for them. His shadow stretched out before him. It covered the stairs, draping them in darkness even before he reached them. His shoes shone like black ice. As they clicked closer, step by step, Varjak could see his own reflection, looming larger in their blackness. How could he let himself believe that everything would work out? He should have known better. He hated himself for having that moment of hope, because now the hope was gone. There was nothing left at all. "There's no way out, is there, Varjak?" said Tam. "No." "Looks like goodbye," said Holly. "We go down fighting?" "We go down fighting," said Varjak Paw. The gentleman's waxy white hand reached out for him, huge enough to hold his whole body, strong enough to break his neck. Varjak bared his teeth, ready to bite, to fight to the death, and it would be death. How else could it end? The hand closed around his neck, and crash! The smashing of breaking glass, a roar like the sky ripping open. "Leave my friends alone!" And the hand let go. Varjak could see the biggest, blackest monster in the world. Kludge! It was Kludge! The great dog had come through. He'd shattered the windows of the Contessa's house. Kludge was ferocious. Even Varjak shook at the sight of him. Look, there's a picture of the gentleman. Whoa, I'm very bad at this. Sorry, everyone. Hey, there you go. The gentleman holding Varjak. But Kludge is here. Kludge roared. The gentleman cowered. He backed away from the stairs. There's Kludge roaring. He backed away from the stairs, hands in the air, shaking with terror. It was something Varjak had never expected to see. This almighty man, so vast, so powerful, he'd made the toy cats, the black cats. He was responsible for the vanishings. He could do anything, and yet even he, with all his power, had something he was scared of, something he couldn't face. And faced with Kludge, the gentleman became like a little boy, lost and frightened and all alone. Kludge circled around him, growling and snarling and snapping his teeth. He forced the gentleman over to the broken green window, and then he came back at him with big, blunt claws. The gentleman screamed. He turned and ran out of the window, out of the house. With a wink at the cats, Cludge leaped after him and chased him, screaming, into the night. There's just one more chapter left. Cludge has come through. Looks like he saved the day. Wow, an exciting finish. We'll see what the family think of it and how things end up for Varjak Paw in the next episode, the next final episode of this book. And tomorrow I'll tell you about the next story we're going to read as well. Hope you've enjoyed that. Be good. Remember you're precious. And I'll see you soon. Thank you so much for listening. It's so nice to talk to you like this. Bye.